Network made for streaming. Switch to Fios and get a year of Netflix on us with a 2-year agreement.
Tonight, breaking news, the resignation at the White House. Less than 24 hours after answering questions on Capitol Hill, Hope Hicks now resigns. President Trump's longest-serving aide stepping down. ABC News learning Hicks told House investigators just yesterday she had occasionally told white lies on the president's behalf. The White House says the timing today is coincidental. Also tonight, the president's call to take action on guns, oftentimes siding with the Democrats at the table. Tonight, supporting universal background checks. And what about raising the age limit on buying guns? A new scare at a school tonight, students running for their lives. This time, a teacher armed with a gun, barricading himself inside a classroom, firing his weapon. We are tracking a nor'easter off the coast tonight, moving in on several major cities from D.C. up through New York and Boston. The man posing as a driver, authorities say attacking several women who got into his car. And is Amazon taking photos of your front door? Tonight, the reason why.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a Wednesday night, and we begin with that major resignation at the White House. Hope Hicks, the president's longest-serving aide, with the president even before his campaign. Just 24 hours ago on Capitol Hill answering those questions, a source telling ABC News she told House investigators she had occasionally told white lies for the president. She is now stepping down. Tonight, the White House says the timing of this resignation is coincidental. And tonight, the growing list of departures right there on your screen, a little more than a year into this administration, starting with Michael Flynn, the firings, the resignations, one more key name added to that list tonight, Hope Hicks. ABC senior White House correspondent Cecilia Vega leading us off.
Less than 24 hours after Hope Hicks emerged from nearly 9 hours of testifying on Capitol Hill.
Any collusion?
Tonight, the president's closest aide and longtime confidant unexpectedly resigning from her role as communications director, sending shockwaves through the West Wing. The official line from the White House, Hicks has been thinking about leaving the job for some time and wants to spend more time with her family. But the news comes with Hicks under fire for that testimony, telling congressional investigators under oath that she occasionally told white lies on behalf of the President of the United States.
Thank you, Donald Trump.
At 29 years old, she became one of the most powerful players in the Trump White House.
Now, Hope Hicks is a tremendously talented person. She started off with us right from day one.
By the president's side through the campaign.
Hope Hicks, where's Hope? Hope, come here, Hope. Come here, Hope. Get up here, Hope. Hope Hicks, the legendary Hope Hicks. She's very shy. She's a very shy person, but she's a great person. She's done an amazing job.
Before that, in Trump Tower as an assistant to the billionaire businessman. A former model, she joined the family working on Ivanka Trump's fashion line. Now she helps run the White House, her handwriting right there on the president's note, reminding him to tell those grieving families from Parkland, "I hear you." Within minutes of news of her departure, the president releasing a statement saying, "She is as smart and thoughtful as they come, a truly great person. I will miss having her by my side, but when she approached me about pursuing other opportunities, I totally understood." Chief of Staff John Kelly calling Hicks strategic, poised, and wise beyond her years. To say that she will be missed is an understatement. But her tenure in Washington, not without scandal. Hicks was involved in crafting a misleading statement about that now infamous Trump Tower meeting between Don Jr. and the Russians. More recently, she was at the center of the firestorm over the departure of former Staff Secretary Rob Porter, ousted amid domestic violence allegations. Porter and Hope were dating, and she helped craft the administration's defense of him when the news broke. But tonight, the White House says none of that is linked to her departure. The timing, just coincidence.
So let's get to Cecilia Vega live at the White House tonight. And Cecilia, Hope Hicks releasing a statement of her own tonight.
David, she is. She says there are no words to adequately express her gratitude to President Trump. Not that long ago, right here in the West Wing, she tearfully thanked West Wing staffers. She is a very beloved member of this administration. Her office was right outside President Trump's Oval Office. We can't emphasize enough how much of a trusted advisor she was to him. Her actual departure date could still be weeks off, David, but this has been a very key role and a tough one for this White House to fill. Hope Hicks is now the fourth communications director to come come and go.
Cecilia Vega leading us off tonight. Cecilia, thank you. Meantime, as you know, the other firestorm tonight, Republicans reacting at this hour to what they saw from the president today at the White House. He was sitting with Republicans and Democrats on guns and school safety, saying he supports what many of the Democrats support, universal background checks, among other things, pushed by the students and families in Parkland, Florida. But tonight, many in his own party are now livid. ABC's chief White House correspondent, Jonathan Karl.
Before the television cameras at the White House, the most pro-NRA president in history gathered together a group including some of Congress's most forceful advocates of gun control.
And I see some folks that don't say nice things about me, and that's okay. Because if you turn that into this energy, I'll love you. I don't care.
And sitting in that room, the president repeatedly took positions that put himself at odds with the NRA and Republican leaders in Congress. He embraced Connecticut Democrat Chris Murphy's call for background checks on all gun purchases, an idea Republicans have voted down again and again.
We can't get it done. There's nothing else like that, where it works, people want it, and we can't do it.
But you have a different president now.
Well, listen,
I mean, you went through a lot of presidents and you didn't get it done. You have a different president, and I think maybe you have a different attitude too. I think people want to get it done.
Mr. President, it's going to have to be you that brings the Republicans to the table on this, because right now the gun lobby would stop it in its tracks.
I like that responsibility, Chris. I really do. I think it's time. It's time that a president stepped up.
Trump even seemed to oppose his own vice president on how to take guns from someone identified as a possible threat.
Allow due process, so that no one's rights are trampled, but the ability to go to court, obtain an order, and then collect not only the firearms, but any weapons in the possession of that individual.
Or might take the firearms first and then go to court, because that's another system. Because a lot of times, by the time you go to court, it takes so long to go to court to get the due process procedures. I like taking the guns early. Take the guns first, go through due process second.
And the president brought up an idea the NRA says it firmly opposes, raising the age to buy assault weapons like the AR-15 used in the Parkland shooting to 21 years old.
I would give very serious thought to it. It doesn't make sense that I have to wait till I'm 21 to get a handgun, but I can get this weapon at 18. I don't know.
The president told the bipartisan group he wants more than action. He wants bold action, a comprehensive bill on guns and school safety. He told one Republican leader to put aside a controversial pro-gun measure and to concentrate on something Democrats will support.
You'll never get this passed. If you add concealed carry to this, you'll never get it passed.
The president called the NRA patriots on his side.
I'm telling you, I think they're there. I think they're there. Some of you people are petrified of the NRA. You can't be petrified. They want to do what's right, and they're going to do what's right. I really believe that. I think it was a very good lunch.
Toward the end of the meeting, the president predicted success.
If you could all get together, if we could put in one great piece of legislation, Chuck, I think that you're going to have an amazing result in the vote. People want to see something happen, but they want to see something good happen, too.
Then one last question from Senator Dianne Feinstein on banning assault weapons.
What do we do about weapons of war easily accessible on our streets?
What you're going to have to do is discuss it with everybody, and any solution. No, it's a very complex solution. You do. You have weapons on the street. That's what we're talking about with black market.
Oh, no, you go into a store and you can buy an AR-15.
You can.
You can buy a Tech-9. I mean, you can buy all these weapons.
Well, this is what you're going to have to discuss.
John Karl with us live from the White House tonight. And John, we heard the president there tell Senator Chris Murphy in your report, you have a new president now to get something done, inviting the pressure in essence, and you're getting Republican reaction tonight?
Republicans in that room didn't challenge the president on any of this, but to give you an idea of what the president is up against, look at this statement from Senator Ben Sasse, Republican of Nebraska. Right after the meeting, he said, strong leaders don't automatically agree with the last thing that was said to them. We're not ditching any constitutional protections simply because the last person the president talked to today doesn't like them. To say this will be a tough sell with Republicans, David, is an understatement.
All right, you'll be watching, John. Thank you. Meantime, that emotional return to school today for the students in Parkland. Their first stop once at school, returning to wherever they were during that fourth period when the gunfire broke out, to reunite with the friends they were with when it all happened. Meantime, we're also learning about the stunning amount of ammunition that gunman left behind at the school. ABC's Victor Akendo at the scene tonight.
The walk to school, unlike any other before it. Students returning carrying flowers, greeting officers, some with signs of encouragement.
My school will never be the same, though. It will never be the same.
It's changed forever.
Yeah, definitely.
The students first stopped their fourth period class, the same period they were in when the shooting began. The idea to allow them to spend time with those students they were with when the shots broke out.
When I got into the classroom, it was kind of like everyone stared at each other and got a little silent, and then we all kind of like reunited.
The freshman building where the attack occurred closed. It will never be used again. A reminder that the school is far from whole.
Today was a weird, strange, emotional day.
How so?
In my Spanish class especially, because one of our students didn't show up today because he was one of the 17. So that was very upsetting.
Tonight, a law enforcement source tells ABC News Nicholas Cruz left behind nearly 180 unused rounds, and one of the magazines recovered had a swastika on it. An official briefed on the investigation says Cruz tried to shoot out a window on the third floor, but the hurricane-proof glass didn't shatter. Fleeing students could have been targets.
The hurricane-proof glass. And Victor joined us now from Parkland tonight, where those students wait to hear if the Florida State Legislature will take any new action. 7 days left in that legislative session. We'll track that. But a major announcement today from the CEO of Dick's Sporting Goods on Good Morning America that the company will no longer sell assault-style rifles. Take a listen.
We're staunch supporters of the Second Amendment. I'm a gun owner myself, but we've just decided that based on what's happened and with these guns, we don't want to be a part of this story. And we've eliminated these guns permanently.
Victor, this follows action from a long list of companies.
That's right, David. Today's announcement comes after more than a dozen companies, ranging from hotel operators to insurance providers, have cut ties with the NRA. And we just got word minutes ago that Walmart will also be raising the age limit to purchase guns to 21. David?
Victor Akendo with us again tonight. And to a new school scare we're following tonight, this time a teacher with a gun barricading himself inside his classroom and then firing a shot. Students running in fear. And here's ABC's Steve Osunsami on that front.
This was the panic this morning during third period at Dalton High School north of Atlanta after police say this popular social studies teacher had a breakdown and locked himself in an empty classroom with a handgun.
He was telling people to go away.
The principal, who was outside the door, says that 53-year-old Randall Davidson wasn't making sense and fired a bullet through a window. They immediately evacuated the school.
Everybody started screaming, and some teacher says, "Get out, get out." And we all just started running out, and I left everything in my book bag. We didn't finish eating.
The school's armed security officer was off campus. The only person with a gun was the teacher, seen here, who for years has called games for the football team.
When I got to Dalton, my knowledge of Dalton football was almost zero.
Within minutes, everyone in the area with a badge was on campus. Police say the teacher agreed to surrender. Police tonight are announcing charges, including aggravated assault and carrying a weapon on the school grounds. The teacher has not yet entered a plea. Students say what happened in Florida made them especially frightened. David?
That's understanding. Steve Osunsami with us tonight. Steve, thank you. To the Russia investigation tonight, the president's former campaign manager, Paul Manafort, pleading not guilty to new criminal charges brought by special counsel Robert Mueller. Manafort was arraigned today on 5 additional counts, including tax evasion and bank fraud. The trial now set for September 17th. And the president tonight taking aim at his Attorney General, Jeff Sessions. This is not new, but what is new is that the AG is now firing back. Here's ABC's Chief Justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas.
The president has made his frustration with his Attorney General well known for months.
I am disappointed in the Attorney General. He should not have recused himself.
If he was going to recuse himself, he should have told me before he took the job, and I would have picked somebody else.
A lot of people are disappointed in the Justice Department, including me.
Tonight, for the first time, Attorney General Jeff Sessions is firing back. It comes after this tweet today from the president, slamming Sessions. The president believes Sessions has not done enough to investigate allegations the FBI abused surveillance powers in the Russia investigation. The president tweeting, "Why is AG Jeff Sessions asking the Inspector General to investigate potentially massive FISA abuse? Will take forever. Has no prosecutorial power. Isn't the IG an Obama guy? Why not use Justice Department lawyers? Disgraceful." After months of responding diplomatically to the president's attacks.
Well, it's kind of hurtful, but the president of the United States is a strong leader.
Today, Sessions stood up to the president. writing in a statement, quote, "We have initiated